Hello friends, today I am explain horror movie name, Siccin Part 3. I hope you like it. Let's go now. Without further delay. So this story begins with a house. We see that an old woman was sitting inside it and crying, and her leaf was standing in front and was reciting some mantras, etc. And then we look back and there was a Taman sitting there, and from here a time's gate, and we are shown that the girl whose name is that was writing about her day in her diary that she had come to her grandparents earlier that day. Ed, who is her grandfather, was the same one that was shown to us in the beginning, and yes, she is no longer alive in the present time, and her grave is also heavy in their house. Since the passing of France's grandfather, who was her grandmother, she has been quite ill. She can neither speak much nor walk, and now we are shown that Hillel, who was that, had a younger brother whose name was that mother in her childhood. When one day they were leaving home, some children there put a cat in a sack and kill it completely, and seeing that the age, it has a deep impact on his mind, after which he is no longer able to speak straight. He speaks in code language as if only his sister Hilali can understand him. Aram has never been here with his grandparents until now. And today we have come because my father has suffered a huge loss in his business. His father's name is Hilali. His mother's name is Faison. And yes, his mother's sister, that is, his Musa, also lives with him. Her name was Cobra. Now Halim, who was humble, goes to his friends to ask for some money because his condition was very bad at that time, but with his help, his friends take him out and no one helps him. Now a woman also works in their house, whose name is Auntie Rahi. Now we see that this old man, who was sitting at the dining table, refuses to eat. When his sister translates for him, she tells him that he is not eating this food because he is being beaten by the hands of these trains. Nothing cooked to eat. We see that at night Omar was sitting with his mouth covered, and the announcement was there too, and then he said something in code language again. His grandmother is a danger, such a strange thing, but shake it off. She ignores all these things and puts him to sleep. Now at night Omar comes back home and he was quite worried. Now he goes to his mother's room and was looking in her cupboard so that she can take some of her old savings money, but when he looks, there was nothing there. He also asks Rahim there, but she says that she doesn't know anything, and after he leaves, the attitude of that dream changes in an instant, and then she starts talking to his mother and says that your son is asking for the same money that you gave him. Now she is calling him. Who is he? You will find out later, and hopefully in the middle of the night something happens to Omar and he wakes up. We see that as soon as he comes out of the room, he is followed by her. Rahim writes, who also had a child in her hand, which is strange, but then when the angle changes, we see that the same which was sitting there, and she also had a baby in her hand. Now he goes inside to his book room. He sees a dangerous scene where his grandfather was standing in front of him. And here, Rahim, who was there, was tearing out his grandmother's eyes and showing them to her. She moves towards that direction, then he leaves. Sister and Hillel's eyes open and she sees that he was sitting in the room with his face covered. Then he is surprised that she is sleeping with him. Now here, we see that Halil gets a call at night from the same friend whom he had gone to ask for like this, and he had not given it to him, but now he comes to his house and gives him money. Now he is losing money peacefully. Brother, he sees that his son jumps into his father's grave outside. Now he goes to save him, but he sees that he was inside him and is leaving. He digs a hole in the ground and tries to pull it out. Brother, the same which is there, and cuts off his hands. And that's when he wakes up from his dream. He sees that there is no mark on his hands. Then he goes to the washroom to wash himself. Then he sees another dangerous scene. He sees that his mother is sitting there and she is cutting his hair. She tells him that I don't have any money. I gave her all that money. Brother, what is happening? What does it mean that the dream within the dream is being interpreted? When he notices, this time there were bite marks on his hand. The next day we see that the old man feels something again and he senses something. He opens it in a thinking board and feels curious, but he finds some college papers there, which have something written inside. Now when his mother asks his sister Rahim about this paper, we see that Faison is coming. She doesn't know what happens. She obeys her grandmother and grinds them in a mixer. After that, we see that Faison is killed in the bathroom by the one who was standing with the juice of the same mixture. It was all for her. Now, we see that the Cobra was analyzing the college papers. Then she sells some of her belongings and gives money to her sister so that she can help him. She leaves from there. On the other side, we see a blacksmith who was beating with a hammer, and it was none other than you who decorated it. We must have seen in the third wicket that Halil had come with his son Omar many times somewhere, and he has an encounter there, and he and Omar and Ovar give each other this contact. They have known each other for a long time and also sense something in it and says God help you. We look at the house and Foiz's breathing gets bad, and seeing this Foiz's heart breaks because she was vomiting and she also gained a lot of weight. She is very discus singing, so I will not be able to show you. She turns away after seeing this and goes to call Rahim. Now she is not finding him anywhere. Then she goes to the basement area of the house where a nail penetrates her foot. Now as soon as she sees that the blood that was on her was not coming out, but no matter how much, everything disappears from there. Mahdi is entering there and says, "Hey, your breath is sleeping peacefully upstairs and I am also in the bathroom." Now I couldn't understand what she was saying. When I came there, she wasn't there. Then we see that Halil needed the money more, so he was thinking that they should sell his parents' house, but his father's grave was right outside his house, so no one was ready to buy it. Then I asked the unlucky girl why the basement room is locked. She says that your mother didn't lock it and she didn't want anyone to open it. Please don't go in there either. Then after she leaves, even after she forbids him, Halil goes downstairs to open the room, but no key works. Now on the other side, we see Hillel sitting in the room. Her brother was sitting in her closet. He covered it up. Then she noticed that he was bringing something to her from behind. Now he is coming from the front. She scares him by coming in front of him and sings it all at once. It goes out, and if we see that Omar tells that he is talking to the person like he met outside, he is also talking to his mind, that is, here he is talking about Aaron. Similarly, Aaron also goes to a Baba and asks him that I am talking to a child in my mind, if that means what. The Baba tells him that it is possible that the child is in some trouble. Now the kidnapper has connected you to him so that you can help him, and on the other hand we see that the crescent breaks the basement door. When he looks inside, his fear increases. There was something so horrible there that I will not be able to show it to you. Sit down, I will tell you that there were many bodies etc. hanging there, and there was also a lot of magic temple equipment. There, the same witch sees him again, who tells him that he gets scared and leaves there. He sees that as soon as he comes out, the basement door that he had broken was connected again, like new. Now Faiza gets a call from her sister Cobra, and she tells her that she found this paper, and from it she found out that it is related to very dangerous evil powers, so you should stay away from all of them. Sometimes we see that an egg falls behind, and she notices that her hair was falling from the carpet below, and whenever there the witch scares her. Then Amdeed is somewhere in the night, and Enta tells Rahim that he will take care of his mother today, and he goes to stay in her room, and suddenly something happens to his head and he starts to take care of his mother. Then he suddenly sees the same witch, and his and her eyes open, and he leaves from there and tells Enta to take care of them too. It will not happen with Matt. Now we see that the old man who was there reconnects with Iran and was talking to him and repeating some mantras. I was staying with the bird at night, then I woke up. Dal's eyes open, and then she hears her family members calling her downstairs saying that the gas has come downstairs and greet them, and now as soon as she goes downstairs her entire family was sitting there at the dining table, and on that table we don't know what dead things were kept, and we see that her grandfather was also there, and also the one who was related to her comes to her. Her eyes open. The next day we see that Halil comes out from work. He is shocked. He sees this old man. He was in my mother's room. Now he calls his wife to confirm, and his fear increases when he comes to know that she is still in her mother's room. Then who is this? Now he follows her and goes to her house, and then she removes the veil from all the secrets she is entering. She tells that your mother used to do magic in the temple. Now one day your father's health gets very bad, and the doctor also he had answered. Then your mother cast a spell and saved him, but from that day on, your father became a bit strange. He was not alive even after being revived. He used to sit in the basement like a slob. One day, when your mother went there and saw him, he was talking to a witch and she had a relationship with him. Then your father told her that he had to make a relationship with a demon from another world to heal himself, and then she had a child with that witch. Now, your mother and I cast a spell to save your father from her clutches, but in that, your father and his unborn child will be killed. And since then, that witch has come to take care of her husband, that is, your father and her child. And she harasses your mother every day and night, to the point where she even bothers me. Now, here I come to know about another dangerous thing. Andrian changes her mind and says that I did not go to this house until after your father died because this witch did not give me any meaning and the one who is living there in my form is not actually me. This witch also built your sacrifice grave near your house so that she can call your father there again and again. Abe goes to tell his mother what he did, and here we see on the other side Aunt Rahim, who had told him all this secret. Now Ali thinks that he will leave this house with everyone, but then on the other side she goes to his mother and says, whatever happens I will not let you take her. After these days, when Khalil reaches to take his mother, he touches her as soon as she touches her, and then he goes and picks up his wife and children. Now from here he was connecting with Ammar, and Rosa comes to know that something is happening there, and he also comes out to save them. Now on the other side we see that Halil takes his entire family to the basement. He gives them all the pan. Now Halil spreads gas in the basement, and with all of them he sometimes reaches his house, and they were reciting some mantras, and then he is posted in his grandmother's room while doing some sensing. Quran comes to know that the real witch is actually inside his grandmother. Now she is his beetle, and he was dominating her completely and grabs her throat. Din then takes her to another world. Kerden then they talk there. That witch says that they have snatched my husband and my child. I will not leave them, but Ulan says that you have no right to punish them. That person above will punish them. Then he does magic and sends this Jalil back to his world, and he also calls the name of honest Jalil, and his name was. It is shown that while killing this witch, the same grandmother also dies. Maybe she got the same punishment for her deeds. Now we have 2 months. If it were shown, Khalil and his family were living happily. He had also sold his house. Now his business was doing well. He had opened a new business with the money he had earned. It was also doing well. Today, he had also placed his original grave in the cemetery. And then was shown who was happy to see his family's happiness. And this is where this story ends.